What's going on, nation, and welcome to Bench Break Episode 8, Are You Bulking or Just Fat? Now, this video came about because I feel like the term bulking is being used and abused, and it's throwing a lot of people off. Now, what does bulking actually mean? Bulking is that period of time that you take to focus on building muscle. You're not getting ready for a show, not getting ready for a special event, and summer is a long time away. Now, what does bulking turn into? It's basically turned into a term that's thrown around by people so they can justify going out, eating as much food as possible, gaining tons of fat, and then they make themselves believe that gaining all this weight is helping them with their overall goal and is going to help them with their gains. Now, as a natural athlete, you couldn't be more wrong. Now, let's talk about how much muscle you can realistically put on as a natural athlete. So, no drugs. I like to reference this chart right here. It's from Lyle McDonald's website, bodyrecomposition.com, a very credible source. And if you take a look over here, we have some numbers from year 1 to year 4. Now, on year 1, you're looking to gain about 20 to 25 pounds of muscle. And keep in mind that these numbers are based on the fact that you're doing everything right. So your training spot on and your meal plan spot on. So 20 to 25 pounds of muscle year 1, it's going to be your best year. On year 2, you're looking to gain about 10 to 12 pounds of muscle. On year 3, about 5 to 6 pounds of muscle. And on year 4, and every year after that, you're going to be gaining about 2 to 3 pounds of muscle a year. Now, that might seem discouraging to you, but if you look at the overall picture here, you've gained 40 to 50 pounds of muscle in those 4 years, which is a lot. And as a natural athlete, your frame can only handle so much muscle mass. Now, if you're a female watching this video, you can basically just take these numbers and you can cut them in half. But now what I want to do is I want to talk about unnecessary bulking, or a term I like to call uncontrollable bulking. And I'm going to take an athlete who's on their second year of training. So in now your second year of training, you're looking to gain 10 to 12 pounds of muscle. That's going to be your max for the year as a natural athlete. Let's say you gained 30 pounds this year on that second year. And let's say you were in the low end and only 10 of that was muscle. So now you have this 20 pounds of fat that now you have to get rid of if you want to shred and look your best during your cutting season. Now, what's going to happen, first of all, when you gain excess body fat like this? Well, for one thing, it's going to slow down your natural testosterone production. Now, it's not going to slow it down massively. You're not going to notice like any muscle gain at all, obviously, but it is going to slow it down a bit. And what happens when it does slow down is your metabolism is going to slow down, and it is going to halt your muscle production a bit. And if you want to learn more about testosterone, how to optimize your T levels, I have a video right here that you can check it out that goes over all of this. Now let's talk about what also happens now that you have this 20 pounds of fat. Well, obviously your goal right now is to get rid of it. So now you're cutting, you're trying to get rid of the fat as fast as you can, but it never really goes away. Do you want to know why? Because once you gain a fat cell, it's there forever. And the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to shrink. So you're might lose the majority of that fat, don't get me wrong, but there's always going to be a little left over because fat cells do not go away. Now let's say you go on to year 3, and on year 3 you do the same thing and you gain 30 pounds. Now obviously you've gained more fat, and then when you go into your cutting season, you're going to try to cut as much as you can again, but now what's going to happen? You're not going to lose all of that fat either. And now what's going to happen to those fat cells that aren't going to go away? They're going to pile on top of the fat cells you gained last year. So now what's happening as a natural athlete, you're going to have a harder time cutting year after year if you're always doing these uncontrollable bulking. Now, if you're on drugs, you don't really care because the drugs will take care of everything. But if you're a natural athlete and you want to maximize your gains, you need to really watch what you're doing and what you're doing to your body. Now, if you're a natural athlete doing all this stuff, I know it's a term I've used a lot, but I'm trying to really drill this home with you guys. If you want to get rid of those fat cells, there's only one way you really can do it. And it's with a tube, and it's called liposuction. So let's talk about proper bulking, or what I like to call lean gains. Now don't get me wrong, bulking is something that is desirable when it comes to your workout routine. There's going to be a specific point of time where you want to make gains and gain muscle, and you will put on a little bit of excess body fat. But what is proper bulking? What proper bulking is when you're eating in a calorie surplus, but you're still staying within the proper ratios of protein, carbs, and fat. Now, if you don't know what those ratios should be for you, I have a video right here you can check out. It's called How to Build a Meal Plan, and I go through step by step for you to figure out your exact amount for protein, carbs, and fat for you to reach your goals. Now, let's talk about pro athletes. Now, I know pro athletes that are natural, who aren't natural, but at the end of the day, they're all doing the same thing, and they're eating good, wholesome foods, even when they're bulking. Because when they're bulking, they're not trying to gain excess body fat, they're trying to gain muscle. And they're obviously eating more calories, they're staying within the proper ratios, but they're not showing up with pizza and hot dogs and Pop-Tarts and all this other kinds of junk food that fills their macros. They're showing up with things like chicken or fish or steamed vegetables or sweet potatoes, white rice, brown rice, good wholesome foods. And if you're not eating good wholesome foods, you're not getting the vitamins and minerals and fiber and all the other good stuff that comes with them in order for your body to actually function properly and make the most out of gaining muscle. It's just not going to happen. Another frame of reference that I like to look at is competitors getting ready for a show. And even when they're 6 to 8 weeks out, they're still looking pretty good. And they're only going to utilize that 6 to 8 weeks to get as lean as they possibly can to look show ready. And that's kind of how I live my life. I always like to look like I'm pretty close to being at my absolute best. Because obviously I'm going to try to bulk, I'm going to try to gain muscle. And when I do that, I'm going to gain a little bit of body fat. But I know in my head, I'm in that 4+ category, okay? I'm only gaining 2 to 3 pounds of muscle a year naturally. So at 173 pounds, there's absolutely no reason for me to bulk up to 190 just to gain that 2 to 3 pounds of muscle that I know I can achieve this year. So if your bulk is causing you to hold excess body fat, I'm sorry to say it, but you're not bulking, you're just fat. The last topic I want to talk to you guys about is if it fits your macros or flexible dieting. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know that I follow this method of eating. I just had McDonald's yesterday on an airplane on my way home. Now, I don't want you guys obsessing over calories and obsessing over proper ratios of protein, carbs, and fat. And if you want to have that cupcake every once in a while, you're craving some sweets, just have it. But make sure it's a minority of the time. The majority of the time, you guys should be eating wholesome foods, because those are the foods that are going to contain the vital micronutrients, which is your vitamins and minerals, that are necessary for the majority of the processes that are happening in your body. One of those major processes being the transportation and absorption of your macronutrients. So if you're spending all day eating that precious protein to maximize your muscle gains, but you're getting it from junk food, you're not going to maximize your gains because you don't have the micronutrients in your system that you need in order to do so. The overall goal of this video wasn't to judge anyone or criticize anyone, it was to teach. So now if you're in your 3rd year of lifting, you're going to know that you're only going to gain about 5 to 6 pounds of muscle that year as a natural athlete. So you're not going to go out and gain 30 pounds because you know the majority of it's going to be fat. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation out there that's saying you can eat whatever you want as long as it fills your macros and bulking's okay, you can gain all kinds of fat, you'll just lose it when you're in the cutting season. And that's just not true. And I know at the end of the day, you guys are going to go out and do whatever you want, but at least now, hopefully, with the information in this video, you'll go out and make educated decisions. If you'd like to discuss this topic more, you can join the community and I in the forum section over here on ScottHermanFitness.com. For more great tips, exercises, routines, and recipes, feel free to join us on ScottHermanFitness.com. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys. If you're looking for a quick way to switch things up, log into your SHF profile and go to the workout section of the website. Once there, click on the muscles you want to train, then you'll be brought to a page where you can further filter down your search. Now you have a complete list of all the routines that target your chest and utilize only a barbell or dumbbell. From here you can rate the routine, add it to your routines in your profile, and if you scroll down, you can see a write-up of the entire routine as well as photos of all the exercises. You can also download a printable PDF just by clicking on it.